Welcome back to the channel, lads and ladies, and I've got one question for you. Was ist der bestes Churchill? Yeah, of course, it's as if I'm with the German team. So, as you can tell, we are greatly enjoying the German Churchill, surprising no one who's familiar with that vehicle. You can get down to a 4-second reload. Long-range accuracy is acceptable. Armor penetration values are good for its tier, and it has all kinds of survivability with a surprising amount of mobility for the heavy tank that it is. You'll get up to around 15 miles per hour fairly rapidly and be able to maintain that speed over rough terrain reasonably well. All in all, it doesn't have a difficult time being shortly behind the Allied team, and that of course can provide some nice results. But don't take my word for it. Let's jump into a replay featuring my buddy Tyfighters to see how he plays the German Churchill. And here you see that it can more or less keep up with a Panzer III. Not bad at all. And my buddy Tyfighters has kitted out his tank with an appropriate array of camouflage. Perhaps the enemy will think that a very large flower delivery shop is driving toward them, and you know what? He's about to lay some flowers on their grave. So, with around, 80 millimeters of armor, totally flat on the front of the turret, but a surprising ability to angle said turret, and a very fast firing gun. 56 millimeters, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not all that familiar, but you can see it's able to punch through the frontal armor of a T-34 with few problems. And that first shot bounced down into the engine, alighting him, and a second shot still sends spalling fragments down into the engine. Finally, with 3 pens, and you can just see the incredible rapid fire of this cannon. He's able to annihilate that Russian bias machine. Of course, anybody that's faced the T-34 knows what a dangerous vehicle that can be. A medium tank with very reliable armor, good mobility, and a powerful gun. Even so, no match for a little bit of British ingenuity. Or you might say, T-bias meets the schnitzel. Yeah. Did you know that British people are practically addicted to tea? True story. Anyway, more real facts coming at you live from toshiothunder channel. So, Tyfighters is asserting his dominance on the battlefield, and the reason that I'm playing this replay is not because I'm addicted to Tyfighters' replays. Seriously, you know, some of you other guys can actually send in your replays as well. Feel free. It doesn't have to be anything special. Just send it in, I'll see what I can do with it. I love featuring other people on the channel, as you may know. And target acquired, he gets a shot on the KV, taking out the commander. Commander's position in the KV turret is the most dangerous one, especially when the political officer is aiming the gun at him. But they always seem to get taken out first, but the other crew members are a lot more difficult to snipe, at least from side shots and such. Tyson aggressively moving in here to the only square capture points in the game. Odd map, this one. And in this case, the KV had his turret angled just perfectly to deflect that shot. And now he's firing blind, and because of the massively fast reload, he's able to spam fire at the KV, aims for the weak spot of the turret, changes his mind, goes for the turret ring, and just misses off to the side of the mantlet. This is a difficult spot to find yourself in against the KV. His hull is angled quite nicely. You could go in through the side of the driver's port, but that's a really trollish shot, and he's backed up by another KV. This is a difficult position that our hero finds himself in today in the training Churchill, the captured tank, and artillery falling all around him. 2 KVs pushing up on him, feeling both dominant and aggressive. They're gonna have a tough time going through his armor from the front. You can get shots into the rear side engine area with those armor bulges. And it looks like Tyson is relying on the side shots of the turret to take down this KV. Not a bad call. Another one goes in, damaging the cannon breech, and behind the AC Mark, what is this? AEC, I think. Mark 1, Mark 2? Anyway, the one with the 20 mils. For some God knows why reason, he doesn't take the booty shots at Tyson, but instead goes for the side armor. So, I got no words. I have no idea why he did that. Maybe he was going for a crew kill, but that AA definitely took the wrong path there. That should have been the end for Tyson. You can get your AP 20mm rounds all the way into the crew compartment by aiming at the upper engine compartment from the rear, but of course you can't do that if you're dead. Quickly dispatches a T-34. No problem. That's one of the tanks that has a very difficult time with a Churchill. And Tyson here presenting the angled front and side of his armor to the majority of the enemy, and he's very much stuck in at this point. Exciting, riveting bunker-style gameplay right now. He's playing this Churchill Mark III almost like one would play the Mouse, only instead of the massively long reload, you've got a 4-second reload on this little spud gun. The British something pounder, 57mm I think, and nice shot into the side of that M4, taking it down handily. Huzzah! The field is ours! Or whatever German equivalent you would do. But the Wehrmacht is very proud of him, I'm sure. And here, again, the gun on this performs very nicely, and that was kind of a disappointing shot. Yeah, some of these gun mantlets slash cannon breeches can really absorb a surprising amount of damage, but with the very fast reload rate on his gun, you're starting to notice something of a theme here. Decent armor penetration coupled with a very fast reload rate. This is your typical British style, but you have reliable armor now in the Churchill Mark III, made even more reliable by the fact that it doesn't face the Panzer IV, which is the bane, along with the other long 75 vehicles, is the bane of Allied tankers everywhere. And again, trying to line up the shot using the binoculars, very cheeky. That's a great strategy. If you haven't picked that up, bind a key to binoculars and use that to help line up your shot. It very much can make a huge difference, especially at lower rank. You can see over obstacles, and with the feature having been added a few patches ago, where the commander's position is where the binocular view comes from. Some vehicles have a poor binocular view, others have a very advantageous view. In the case of the Churchill Mark III, even for the German one, you have a really good view of the battlefield. You get a nice elevated look at what's around you, and that can be very handy to have. So I bind my binoculars to the B key, line up the gun by holding left click, and then release the binoculars, and he'll immediately fire, as you see there. Great way to line up a shot, also handy for some long-range engagements. You can pull off some really cheeky stuff with indirect fire and other things that way. And now it looks like he is shooting at a Sherman, and you can see that he is hitting that tank hard. And even though he has his rear facing toward the enemy, for some reason, again, the Sherman didn't target him in his exposed rear, but instead went for the side shots. Maybe he just couldn't get on target. And finally, Tyson gets taken down by a British attacker, getting him in the back of the turret and wiping out the crew. Anyway, guys, you've gotten a good look at the Churchill Mark III in the German tree. That is a premium vehicle, I should say, and it's well worth picking up if you'd like to have some fun at the lower end of mid-tier, maybe upper end of low tier, however you look at it. What's that, like a 4.0 battle rating? Not bad. Not bad at all. And Tyson's performance today is by no means his greatest performance in this vehicle. He's been talking with me on Discord about the shenanigans he's been able to get into. You know what? I think he rather likes this tank. And at first I was leery of the Churchill because of its low top speed at around 15 miles per hour, but it has a torquey engine and it's able to hill climb fairly well. You can have a lot of fun with that thing. It's really like a low tier mouse with a very high fire rate. The gun's a lot of fun, and AP rounds have been buffed across the board since this was introduced. All in all, a very fun vehicle. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed this one, and I'm not going to be very productive for the next few days because, well, there's an event coming up, and I'm also coming down with a cold again. Because I get the plague. It's just, I have a really weak immune system. Anyway guys, catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.